Now at 5, why efforts to recall a Joplin councilman are on hold. Plus, free zucchini was up for grabs in Carterville to help fight food waste, and
President Trump questions whether Russian President Vladimir Putin is serious about ceasefire negotiations. I'm Natalie Brand with the latest on efforts to secure peace and reaction from Ukrainian Americans.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
an effort to recall a Joplin City Councilman started earlier this month has now been put on pause. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The pause comes as the parties involved say they've sat down for a meeting that was, quote, largely positive and productive. Samantha Walker has details.
Just weeks ago, Joplin City Councilman Ryan Jackson was at the center of a citizen recall effort after a series of controversial comments about transgender people. A petition was started to remove Jackson from his council seat, but now organizers of the recall effort say they're putting a pause on active efforts following a meeting with Jackson, where he was, quote, respectful, listened to their concerns, and eager to learn, and took accountability for his words on social media. Organizers say, in good faith, they'll be suspending all formal petition events. Jackson said in a statement to KOAM that, quote, at the end of the day, we're going to have different opinions. We can just agree to disagree. That's the world we live in. Organizers of the Recall Ryan Jackson campaign say they're not withdrawing the petition, and it will remain active as a way of keeping Jackson accountable if needed. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Samantha, thanks. Over the next several weeks, some registered voters in Oklahoma will receive an address confirmation notice from the state election board. The notices are required by state law to confirm whether voters still live at their address on file with the county election board. Voters who receive an address confirmation notice will have 60 days to respond. Voters who do not respond and confirm their address within that allotted time will be designated as inactive and are required by law to be removed from the voter rolls if they don't vote during or before the 2028 general election. If you get a notice, the state says the easiest way to respond will be online. More than 600 pounds of zucchini were given away today in Carterville to make sure good food didn't go to waste. First Baptist Church of Carterville partnered with Souls Harbor to distribute 31 cases of excess produce to Jasper County residents. The event invited people to bring an ID or a food pantry card to pick up the free zucchini.
Christ is very giving, and I like to serve and give to the community members. I want to help them as much as possible, and this area is kind of a low income and predominantly food issues, so I just want to be able to help them like Jesus would.
Organizers say any remaining produce will be donated to local food pantries. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at the weather.
Well, we do have storm potential tonight. You can see we've got an elevated tornado risk, a significant hail threat, and then an elevated wind risk as well. So we are seeing a few showers mostly south of I-44. That is not a part of our threat, but if we look, we've got our dry line setting up. That's our initial threat for storms tonight. You can see even near Salina, Kansas, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning, and they're also under a tornado watch. Now, we're not under a tornado watch, but we are going to keep watching as this dry line pushes in. Our secondary threat is going to be late tonight into early tomorrow morning, where our cold front starts to descend further south into our area, and that was where the significant tornado threat for those northern states, northern central plains. You can see even a tornado threat has already been issued up there. So we're going to keep an eye on those storms. We haven't got anything in our area yet, but stay weather aware, and I'll have those details coming up.
Catching a few. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a temporary ceasefire in the war with Ukraine next month to coincide with victory celebrations marking the end of World War II. As Natalie Brand reports, it comes as President Trump is putting pressure on both sides to reach a peace deal.
As Russian strikes on Ukraine have continued amid ceasefire negotiations, Russian President Vladimir Putin is now calling for a 3-day pause in fighting starting May 8th. Ukraine wants an immediate ceasefire that lasts much longer. And Ukrainians say there is no trust in any proposals from Putin. President Trump has also signaled frustration with the Russian president, questioning on social media whether he truly wants to end the conflict.
Well, I want him to stop shooting, sit down, and sign a deal.
President Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the Pope's funeral in Rome. He later suggested Zelensky may be willing to give up Crimea, which Zelensky has repeatedly ruled out.
Is Zelensky ready to give up Crimea, do you think, Mr. President? Oh, I think so, yeah.
No one wants peace more than Ukraine.
Marina Bayduk, executive director of United Help Ukraine, says Ukrainians are eager to learn the conditions of a potential peace deal and whether security guarantees will be a part of it.
We've seen in the past 3 years the bravery and resilience of Ukrainian people. They're fighting not just for their territories, they're fighting for their people.
The White House says this will be a critical week for negotiations. The president saying he wants a deal in 2 weeks or less. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Kremlin urged Ukraine to accept the ceasefire proposal and warned any violations will be met with an adequate and efficient response. Still ahead, creating harmony.
Helping students with disabilities play musical instruments. I'm Cristian Benavides with how one teen is hitting the right note.
Plus, the trend in smoking rates and what we could expect over the next 10 years. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, young adults are driving a dramatic decrease in smoking. University of California, San Diego researchers found states with historically high smoking rates have seen the biggest declines. But the progress is not as fast for adults over 50, which could delay reductions in smoking-related diseases and deaths. Researchers project the national smoking rate will be under 5% by 2035, compared to around 57% in 1955. It can be challenging for kids with special needs to find activities to take part in after school. Cristian Benavides looks at one nonprofit helping kids hit all the right notes.
You are.
The lessons being taught inside this Florida classroom are more than just about musical instruments. For this group of special needs students, including 15-year-old Zeha Navari, it's a much-needed outlet.
It's really nice, helps me calm down a bit. Whenever I feel a little anxious or a little sad, I play the guitar to cheer me up.
Avari's mother, Dr. Diana Anita, is a board-certified psychiatrist who's seen the impact the lessons have had on her son.
It's hard to put into words when you see your kid grow and blossom like this. And this road can be a very lonely road. And having schools like this, communities like this, has really been very touching.
Matthew Villa is the founder of Harmony Hugs, a nonprofit dedicated to teaching special needs students how to play music.
I walk in here and I take on the teacher title. I'm Mr. Matthew to them, right? But in reality, they are teaching me. They teach me to look at the world for the positive that it is, for the good that it is.
Villa started providing lessons at just one school back in 2023 and has since expanded
2 times.
Pretty remarkable, given that Villa is only 16 and still a junior in high school.
We're at 7 locations so far. My goal is 15 locations by the time I graduate high school.
To connect with someone your own age and who speaks your language, who's just taken the time out of their day to be here is miraculous in many ways.
Many of the kids who take these lessons like to showcase their talents outside the classroom.
As a mom, it's hard not to tear up when you see something like that.
You're going to put it here.
Lessons that can bring harmony in both music and life. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Villa's experience teaching kids with special needs led him to write a book about a kid with autism who gains the courage to perform in his school's talent show. Research out of Sweden and Harvard University finds a simple blood test measuring 2 lipoprotein markers can give more accurate information about the risk of heart disease compared to cholesterol levels. Lipoproteins carry cholesterol and other fats through the blood. Though researchers say in about 1 in 12 patients, standard cholesterol tests may underestimate the risk of heart disease And this new type of testing could improve accuracy and potentially save lives. And a new global study links consuming ultra-processed foods with preventable premature deaths. It shows in countries like the U.S., where consumption is high, the foods cause as many as 14% of premature deaths. The researchers are calling for revised dietary guidelines and public policies. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, adding up the cost of pet ownership.
Even our four-legged friends can't escape inflation. I'm Michael George with the rising costs of owning a pet.
And we have severe weather in the area tonight through tomorrow. I'll have those details right after this.
April is limb loss.
Well, we are tracking storms in the area tonight through really the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and take a look outside at our current radar. We've got a few showers south of I-44, but what we're watching specifically tonight until about 11 p.m. to midnight is our dry line. So this dry line is draped across, you can see Kansas, Oklahoma into Texas, and it is already sparking up a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. But our secondary threat that's going to be overnight and into early Tuesday morning is this cold front. Now that's a little bit further north, but it is dropping already a few tornadoes. You can see south of Minneapolis, pretty strong tornado. So it's dark red, which means it is confirmed on the ground, and that's up in Minnesota. You can see heading into Waldorf. Now, we are seeing the potential for a tornado threat, though it's a little bit more limited than what they're getting up north. So we're going to be watching for severe thunderstorm warnings. The closest one we've got going on right now is out near Salina. You can see it popping up very quickly, and it's along that dry line. So that's going to be our first threat as we walk through the rest of this evening. Now, we are just dealing with a few clouds. You can see a couple of little storms popping up outside of north of Stockton. It looks like as we go through the next couple of minutes, we're going to keep an eye on that little storm, but it's on its way out. And for right now, we've just got cloudy skies. You can see taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Now, our threat for tonight, mainly hail, but you can see we still have this elevated tornado risk and an elevated wind risk as well. So we have a lot to look out for. Let's go ahead and jump right into our future tracks. So this is in the next 30 minutes. You can see how that storm, remember near Salina, is going to continue to fire up, moving out towards Kansas City. Now, as we get further into the afternoon, that cold front is going to continue to push down, which alleviates our dry line threat, but then gives us that cold front threat. So by 9 p.m., you can see how that storm's continuing to push in, but there comes the cold front, which is going to wipe out those storms. Now, we do have some storms coming in from Tulsa right along I-44. This is going to be the start of our flooding risk tonight through tomorrow. You can see all of those clusters of thunderstorms south of I-44 corridor, and then that cold front pushes in. Now, could see some strong storms along that cold front. With this, we're going to see a big wind threat. You can see it bows out a little bit. And then on top of that, a hail threat as well. Now that cold front is going to continue to push in, but stalls out right along I-44, giving us those training storms, meaning the storms are just going to continue to move northeast right along that cold front boundary on top of each other. So we're just going to get so much rainfall right along I-44. This is now 11 a.m. Tuesday, so we've gone through the night. We're into Tuesday morning, still getting those clusters of thunderstorms south of I-44. And again, couple of pop-up storms right along that boundary. But here comes most of the afternoon on Tuesday, just consistent rainfall right along I-44. Maybe some stronger storms in there, some isolated embedded storms that could be even stronger, giving us that secondary wind, hail threat, and even a potential tornado threat. But we have a lot of flooding to deal with over the next 24 to 36 hours. This is by Thursday, up to 4 inches of rainfall just right along I-44 corridor. So that's going to be our low risk that we see on Wednesday. You can see low to elevated risk south of I-44 on Tuesday, and that low risk across the area due to flooding on Wednesday. So we've got a lot going on. All the storms clear out by early Thursday morning, and then we have a good few days, a nice weekend to dry out, hopefully giving us a chance to finally mow the lawn. I still haven't done that yet.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've done mine a few times, but it's going to have to wait for a while. It will be soggy out there.
Oh, yeah, it will be.
Thanks. Coming up, President Trump's economic approval ratings. They've changed. We'll have the numbers. Topping today's Consumer Watch, nearly 100 days into President Trump's term, The latest CBS News poll shows he's steadily losing support on the key issue of the economy. 51% of those polled approved of his handling of the economy in March. Now only 42% do. And nearly 50% of Americans feel his policies are making them worse off, even though inflation and mortgage rates have both fallen since President Trump took office.
What this tells me is the uncertainty of tariffs. That's really more where people are focusing on, and that's reflecting in how they feel.
Growing concern about the U.S. economy has caused a major sell-off on Wall Street. The market and 401ks have seen some of their worst days since the pandemic. And consumer sentiment has also fallen 4 straight months, with confidence in the economy dropping 32% since January. One glance at social media and anyone can see how much people love their pets. But the price tag on our furry friends is going up. Reporter Michael George introduces us to one new pet owner who's absorbing those costs while reaping the benefits of puppy love.
Sweetheart, you ready to come out? Come out? Golden Doodle Maisie is the newest member of the Johnston family. Lauren Johnston and her husband crunched all the numbers before jumping into pet ownership.
The kids were the right age. We felt financially secure to take it on.
According to a recent report from pet care service Rover, dog owners can expect a 7% hike in expenses this year, and cats could run their humans about 10% more. The average lifetime cost of care for a 10-year-old dog adds up to more than $34,000, while a 16-year-old cat costs $32,000.
We're feeling the pinch when it comes to the cost of owning pets.
Dr. Rebecca Greenstein has been practicing veterinary medicine for 20 years.
Surgeries that used to be $5,000 to $7,000, emergency surgeries are now exceeding $10,000.
The Johnstons say they've already shelled out between $7,000 and $8,000 for Maisie, from breeder fees to supplies to pet insurance.
Because we know she'll be fixed relatively soon, we chose the option that includes preventative care.
One way to keep at least your initial costs down, consider the financial benefit of adopting a dog or cat from a shelter.
A lot of these pets are already spayed, neutered, and microchipped, and you're not going to be paying some of the exorbitant costs that are associated with getting a designer dog from a breeder.
You can also switch over to dry kibble and shop secondhand.
One of my favorite items that I purchased was this freestanding gate. I was able to find one secondhand that I got at a much lower price.
The Johnstons are already enjoying their return on investment.
We just love her. It's really just the love, the memories, and fostering that sense of care and responsibility in the kids.
And that, they say, is worth the price. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Another potential cost to weigh if you're allergic and considering allergy shots before adopting a dog or cat. Check if that's covered in your health insurance plan. And Ryan Coogler's Sinners dominated the box office for the second weekend in a row, with around $45 million projected domestically. 20-year-old Star Wars prequel, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, re-released to mark its anniversary, slashed its way to the number 2 spot with $25 million, and Accountant 2, starring Ben Affleck, was third with just over $24 million. A final check of the forecast next.
A four-state hero.
Up next on the CBS Evening News, it's been 15 years since the BP oil spill. How has the environment healed? Then on KOAM News at 6, court action in the case of an Oklahoma man accused in an off-road vehicle crash that killed a child. Plus, first responders in Kansas City mourn the passing of one of their own. And a couple of local athletes could get a shot at playing in the NFL. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAN News at 6. Sacramento firefighters rescue a duckling from a pool at a senior living facility. Look at this. Firefighters got a report of a duckling in distress. While the crew was ready to assist, the duckling added some drama to the rescue, initially resisting capture. Said, no, I don't want to go. Despite the challenge, firefighters successfully rescued the duckling, which returned to its fellow ducklings, as you see, without any injury. Yeah, there's some duck weather coming up.
Oh yeah, we've got some storms tonight and through tomorrow. Now, isolated storms potential tonight, but through Tuesday all the way until Thursday, we're going to have more of a flooding risk.
Well, we'll welcome that chance to dry out eventually. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.